in straight away.
Yes, Dean Winstanley beating Matt Paget 6-1 with a 90.1 average yesterday. Ian White, as you say, his first appearance on the stage here at Hildesheim. The 43-year-old from Stoke reached the quarter-final at the World Championships at the back end of last year, losing a thriller at Ali Pali to Simon Whitlock by 5 sets to 4. Broke into the top 32 last year, so one of the players in the PDC who is on the rise. The head-to-head between these two, they've only met once. That was in the Grand Slam of Darts back in November 2011 in Wolverhampton. Dean winning that one 5-4 at the group stage. And it is Dean who won the nearest the ball to throw first. Best of 11 legs right the way through this tournament. So the first one to 6. And what a way to kick off with a maximum from Dean Winstanley.
Well, Mike, that is the 5th match out of 17 matches now that started off with a maximum. That's an incredible stat on its own. But going back to Ian White, yeah, I think he's probably one of the most underestimated dart players on the circuit. Not underestimated by all the other players, I can assure you of that. But what a great start from Winstanley. Just wants to get down, take this checkered out, and then he'll kind of be starting off where he left off last night.
Yes, he gave the crowd a smile as he walked back, having hit 4 treble 20s in a row. The crowd eager to see a 9-darter this weekend. They've come out in force, as they always do at these German venues. Plenty of fancy dress on show and plenty of support for the players from across Europe competing. I've seen Union Jacks, I've seen the Orange of Holland, the Barney Army. We had some local qualifiers taking part who sadly didn't do too well yesterday in the opening round matches. But Winstanley with a 1-4-5 checkout in the offing there. He'll be back for double 10 with Ian White back on 2-3-3 here. Great standard to the opening of this match this afternoon. And also a really nice pace as well.
Yes, the pace will suit both players. Oh, that's a bit of a blocker, but the camera angle shows the perfect angle that he will be standing at. He's moved a little bit to the left, so that barrel now becomes a little bit of a wall. Well, he moved to the right and took the top half of it. I was thinking he was going to move to the left. That was a great dart from Winstanley, and a nice little 14-dart leg to start off with.
I think he thought the first dart was in. He sort of almost fell over the line on the oche there after the first dart went in, thinking it was in, but composed himself well to check out second time around.
Well, we've got a real good crowd in here this afternoon, and like I say, I think that maximum to kick off the match has got him in the right mood straight away. Great atmosphere here. We've got 16 matches again today. This is the first of those 16, 8 this afternoon, and then from 7 o'clock this evening we will be having another 16, and for me, this is where the tournament starts today. This is where, you know, all the seeds come in. This is where the big boys are. And if you want to be anybody in this game of darts, you've got to make this Saturday.
Yes, in action this evening, Michael van Gerwen, Kevin Painter, Adrian Lewis, Kim Hybricks, Wes Newton. This afternoon, Jamie Caven up against Ronnie Baxter. That should be a cracking tie. Also in action, Robert Thornton against Andy Hamilton. Dave Chisholm up against Raymond van Barneveld. Barney having to take part in the qualifiers on Thursday night and won through successfully his first round match against his fellow countryman Ron Moulenkamp. But yes, quality right the way through the field on this Saturday afternoon. Then we'll have the third round tomorrow afternoon, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals and the final tomorrow night, where one of these players will be crowned the German darts champion for 2014 and take home a cheque of £20,000 as well.
Well, Ian White, 130. He's hoping his third dart will be at the bullseye. Moves across just to see if he can pin that treble 20. Beautiful dart. Now he wants the bullseye. He's got to go for it. Winstanley's on a checkout. Well, a little bit wayward, so now Winstanley comes to the dartboard. Now, if Winstanley's first dart is in the treble and sitting there beautifully, he'll be very confident of hitting the second one, which is exactly what he's done. Well, he will be disappointed with that because silly to say there's good treble 20s and bad ones, but that was a perfect treble 20.
So 45, double 16 then for Diamond White. Double 8 now to bring us all level at one apiece, and does so.
I think we're going to see at least 10 legs in this match, and possibly a lot of them this afternoon. I mean, we're talking about the matches, the Dave Chisnall and Barney match I'm really looking forward to. You know, Barney's got a little bit at the hump that he's had to go through the qualifiers, got a little bit to prove. And of course, Dave Chisnall, you know, he needs to get on a run early this year. He needs to hit them doubles. So I'm really looking forward to that one. 6th game on this afternoon, that one is.
And that's followed by a battle of two former Lakeside champions, Steve Beaton and Jelle Klassen. And then we round off the afternoon with John Part, multiple world champion, of course, taking on Dick Van Dyke. But the winner of this one will play the winner of the third match on stage this afternoon against between Robert Thornton and Andy Hamilton.
Well, at the moment, no one is threatening the opponent's throw. I think we're going to have to see a 12 darter for a breaker throw in this match, or take out a real big check out of the blue. And that's a superb 3 darts from Dean Winstanley that really does give him control in this leg.
Just snuck into the 6 there for the double top, but he will be back to finish off with double 10. And the crowd certainly finding their voice very early on this afternoon, on this Saturday afternoon here in Hildesheim.
Well, Winstanley cleaning that leg up pretty comfortably. He has on the 2 legs that he's won thrown the dart rather low on that double top, but that may just be early nerves in the game. But he certainly hasn't missed that double 10, and that will give him confidence.
I saw an Australian flag being waved in the crowd there. Paul Nicholson, who represents Australia in the World Cup, he's last on this evening up against Stuart Kellett, who had a little bit of a scare in his first round match against a player who'd never taken part in a professional tournament ever in his days. But eventually winning through last night did Stuart Kellett.
83. And that was a scare for him as well, Mike, wasn't it? You could see the emotion and the nerves going through his face. It was traumatic for Stuart Kellett, but he come through. He'll probably be more comfortable playing a top player than young Fabian. Now, a big score here from Winstanley. Needs 2 trebles, really. 2 trebles he's got, so it's all down to who can take these shots out in 6 darts. Oh, and that is not going to help the cause of Ian White. Day there, he's done exactly the right thing.
129. Yes, he's got that awkward single 9 to split if he does get a chance, but White for double top to bring us back all square again to 2-2.
That's a good tip, Mike, for all of the budding dart players that are watching, for any dart player, to be quite honest. You know, when you've got 138 and you hit a treble 20, a lot of people go for the treble 18. We'll just see if Winstanley hits another 180, which he does, his second one of the match. But because the treble 20 was so good and he needed to have 1 dart at a double, you've got the line, you've got the length on the treble 20. He did exactly the right thing staying there. So he gets the 1 dart at the worst double on the dartboard, as we keep mentioning.
Fantastic average early on in this match after just 4 legs, 109.5 for Winstanley. The best average we saw yesterday afternoon was Ronnie Baxter, 105.9 in blistering form was the Rocket against Dimitri Vandenberg, beating him 6-2. Really did look on fire, did Rocket Ronnie.
And what a talent the young man Dimitri is from Belgium, under the wing of Kim Huybrechts, and he played exceptional, had over 100 average himself, which he was very pleased with. I spoke to him at breakfast, and he says, you know, if I can start to hack it with the big boys at this age, then I can only get better.
So to keep us with the throw, double top for Winstanley. So an early chance then. First chance really for anyone to break the throw. 77 White needs. He wants double top.
57. They require 20.
Well, he's not missed the double 10, Winstanley, and as I say that, he does it up to that double 5. One dart left in his hand, and how important is this for Dean Winstanley? Oh, and he's hit the double top that's actually eluded him for the whole match, and he has let Ian White in. This would be a breaker throw.
Good mark up. Yes. And makes use of that marker to go 3-2 up against the throw, Diamond White, who enjoyed 2 Players' Championship wins in Barnsley and Wigan last year.
Well, I remember Ian White, his first tournament in the PDC was a News of the World we run. We run it, the finals at Aston Villa, and he lost to Phil Taylor in the final. And so he's been around a long time, very experienced.
Yes, 1997, that News of the World final that Ian reached. Another player from that hotbed of darting talent, Stoke-on-Trent.
Well, Dean Winstanley's hit 2 180s in this match so far, but they've been both on his throw. He needs to find one of those maximums against the throw. That's when they really hurt. They're the darts that give you the chance of the breaker throw. The straight tons against the throw in this sort of calibre of game is not going to be good enough.
This is the first of 8 European Tour events, which we're streaming live throughout the year on the official PDC channel on YouTube. In a couple of weeks' time, Valentine's weekend, we're off to the Netherlands, Veldhoven.
134.
Great pick-off on the 19s there by White to get him down to a finish. Well, this is a great response from Winstanley.
Yeah, he was just checking to see if that was in.
121.
Needed another treble really to really put some pressure on. So Ian White, he's be thinking he's got 6 darts from here. But treble 20 will leave him the ball. Well, now he's the one who's gone a bit wild. Massive chance here for Winstanley to get this leg back. May get 6 darts from 142.
110. You require 104.
We've already seen this outshot attempted in this match. Can Ian White successfully knock it off? 50 left then. 18 for double 16 for a 4-2 lead.
18. Do you require 32?
Well, he missed doubles in the previous leg, but he made up for it in that leg with Ian White missing the dart at double 16 to let in Dean Winstanley, and now advantage to Dean.
Yes, immediately breaking back.
Well, certainly those 3 darts from 129 from Ian White hitting the 2 treble ones cost him that leg and cost him a 4-2 lead, which is huge in the race to 6.
Coming up next, we have the Flying Scotsman, Gary Anderson, up against Glenn Spearing, who we saw in first round action yesterday, beating the veteran Magnus Carris.
36.
Well, a great switch there from Winstanley. Just got a little bit of the advantage back. Now Ian White a little bit scrappy as well. A lot of darts being missed on them big numbers. It's going to cost you darts at double.
Certainly a great standard to kick off the afternoon, and not too many people leaving their seats to go and get any refreshment at the moment. It really is too close to call, this one, between these two Englishmen.
Well, Dean Winstanley's going to come back. 2 clear darts to the double. Now it'll be interesting. Will he go the 19 for the 32, or will he stay on the double top? 11. Looks like he's going 11. Because he hasn't hit the double top. Well, only when he didn't want it. So is he going 11? Yep, he's going for that double top again. Been low on it. Can he get up there? Well, that answers that question from Dean Winstanley. Takes a 4-3 lead. And now pressure on Ian White. And I think you mentioned it early on, the pace of these two throwouts. When you get players of the same pace that are pretty nifty, it really does suit them both. You know, they can get on with their own game. I mean, not like Richie Burnett last night, had to wait too long for Justin Pipe. You know, you don't think too much when you're behind the opponent. You just get on with your own game.
Yes, Justin Pipe beating Richie Burnett in the last match of the night last night, and Richie just getting a little bit frustrated at the back of the stage at times. Justin Pipe first on this evening on the evening session up against Brendan Dolan. The evening session starting at 7 o'clock local time here, 6 o'clock if you're watching in the UK.
Also what happens, and all, Mike, is when we say play the dartboard and not the player, when you're playing a slow player, you tend to play the player more than the dartboard. But when you're playing quick players, you haven't got time to think of anything else, so you just concentrate on your own game, and that's what we mean in playing the dartboard.
58.
Well, it looks like Ian White's going to set this up absolutely perfectly. He's going to get 3 clear darts at the double 16 for parity again in this match. 2 breaks a throw. Well, again, Dean Winstanley, 3 maximums, and that's a good thinking man's game, although Ian White has hit the double 16. Normally the third dart would have been at treble 18 to leave the 32, but he deliberately hit the 180 to get the noise of the crowd. And that's good thinking. I like it.
Yes, nothing to choose between these two. As we suspected, this was going to be a tight game to kick off our afternoon's action here. Dean Winstanley celebrating marriage to Lorraine Farlam last weekend, one of the top women darts players on the circuit.
Well, there we have the stats. 318 is from Dean Winstanley to 0 on Ian White, and an average of 98 there for Dean Winstanley. The first 9 dart average, you would expect that to have been higher in this match, but it just shows you that all the big scoring has come in at the back end of the legs.
Great last start there after the drift into the treble 1 to get another treble 20. Winstanley hot on his heels though, with White down to a finish first. Dean just having a check at the scores.
You could see he knew that that 1 put him on a bogey. Three, 8, and he's hit the all-important treble. He requires double top, and he's going to get 3 darts at it to break the throw. And what a time to break the throw. If he takes the double top out, he'll be visiting the hockey to throw for the match. Double top for a break.
Well, the first one was well wide, but second one banging the double top. And Ian White then throwing for the match, where he'll face the winner of the match between Robert Thornton and Andy Hamilton in tomorrow's 3rd round. Hamilton against Thornton is up after our next match. Gary Anderson against Glenn Spearing.
Well, all the times to have a bad visit, it's there when Ian White needed a good strong leg. And Winstanley comes over the top of him with a nice straight ton. He's going to hope that Ian White doesn't hit another treble here, then Winstanley takes control of the leg.
Ian having to switch down to the 19s there. But Dean White unable to. Dean Winstanley unable to punish Ian White there with anything more than a 60.
Yeah, the ton has not hurt Winstanley too badly here. He needs a minimum of a ton to give himself the dart. Now, mustn't miss the big number here. That's brilliant darts from Winstanley. Guarantees him a dart at a double when he returns. All Ian White can do is hit a big number. And he's not going to put a great deal of pressure on this 64, so Winstanley it up. And the first match of the day here in Germany will go to a tie-break.
As we suspected it would do. As we suspect quite a few of them may do throughout the course of the day here. So 56 left. Double top then to take us to a decider for Dean Winstanley.
24. You require 140.
Well, it's a big check out. But it's not a bad one if the first one goes in, because you put the next one beside it. Oh, and it's gone the wrong side. And Ian White in this match has hit a lot of treble fives. Probably first match nerves for him. So to level it up.
And to a decider we go. And Dean with the throw here in this 11th and deciding leg. The match is all the same distance right the way through the weekend, including up into the final.
Well, it doesn't come much better than that. The start of a tie-break leg. And Ian White nicks a ton with the third dart, but now Winstanley, just every visit make sure you hit at least one treble, and you should not lose the leg. I don't know why he went for the 18s there, to be quite honest. Leave the 3 on the end.
27.
Allowed thud of the bounce out there. Unfortunate for Ian White, especially at this stage of the game. But Dean White not capitalising on that.
81.
Good to get that treble with the last dart. And Ian White just going a bit awry in this leg.
Well, Winstanley's probably going to get 9 darts from 182. And nothing short of a maximum here is going to put Ian White in the frame in this leg. And that is set up perfectly to follow it up. I have to say, well, I said nothing short of a 180 for Ian White, and that's exactly what he has done.
Great start to this checkout of 137. Winstanley for the match, double 10.
Do you know what? If you miss that, you want to be on the outside. The double 5 could be an edgy double at this stage of the game. So White, if he doesn't take it out, will be thinking that there's a chance Winstanley may miss the 10s. But now White, double top for himself. Oh, unbelievable check out from Ian White. He looked dead and buried at one time in this tie-break leg. Winstanley missed the double 10. Ian White in the double top. What a great way to start the German Championship. Coming up next, Gary Anderson takes on Glenn Spearing. The crowd are hanging off the rafters.